Hi, this is Hesper Hyman, and this is my EDL 854, Module 11, Gifts for Students and Staff. When we look at gifts for students, it's usually broken down into two categories. First is incentive gifts that are being used for fundraising events, and then also any gifts that could be awarded for special achievements. When we look at fundraising incentive gifts, these gifts are only given to students who participated in the fundraising event. This isn't a school-wide gift. These would be for the students that actually went out there and raised the funds or participated. The prizes, when we look at those, need to be age appropriate, and they should not affect the profitability of the event. If all the profit goes towards the gifts, then the fundraiser isn't being used for what it was raised to be used for. Incentive gifts purchased with funds should be that are raised by the student group that will receive the gifts, such as if the basketball team is raising funds for their organization, those funds then should not be turned around and be used for the girls basketball team or the chess club. Gifts are related to the fundraising and should not favor one group over another. So we need to make sure that the gifts are appropriate to the fundraising incentive that they are being used for. When we look at special achievement gifts, these gifts are generally nominal in value and they need to be age appropriate. We could be looking at such things as the Book It Club, where if you read 100 books, you get a free ice cream from Dairy Queen or something like that. Funding for these gifts can sometimes come from the general fund. They can also come from donations from business or parent groups, or they can also come from athletic funds. When we look at gifts for staff members, we look at three categories. We look at special occasion gifts, fundraising incentive gifts, and then all staff gifts. So when we look at special occasion gifts, these gifts need to be reasonably priced and paid for through a staff remembrance fund, and different schools call this different things. These are going to be funds that are set up to be used to purchase flowers, possibly for a new mother, or for somebody sending flowers to a funeral, or for somebody that's ill, maybe purchasing a wedding gift for a staff member. Money in these funds generally come from either annual dues that the staff pays in or through donations as needed. Staff remembrance funds need to be managed through a committee. They need to have a set written procedures and policies in place. Some of those things that need to be included in that is what type of gifts are appropriate, and then also dollar value. That's very important. Usually you're going to put a range on there, so no more than $20 for this or no more than $30 for something else. The Remembrance Committee, whoever is put into this committee, they need to meet at least once a year. They should go over their guidelines for that year, how they're going to go about raising funds, and then how the money is going to be spent, what should it be spent on, and then who's going to be in charge of that. When we look at fundraising incentive gifts for staff members, if the staff participates in the fundraising event, such as if the staff member participates with their class, or if the staff is participating in something with the school as a whole, so the staff is participating against the 7th grade class, then it's okay to include them in the gift giving incentives, such as the highest seller gets a t-shirt or something like that. The gift should be inexpensive, and we also need to remember that the incentive gifts come out of the profitability of the fundraising event, and they should not equal more than 5% of the overall profit. All staff gifts, these are gifts that are given either at the beginning of the school or for special occasions, such as Teacher Appreciation Week, maybe a Christmas party for the whole staff. These usually don't cost a lot. They're paid for by staff-generated funds or through donations from a parent organization or something like that. If the staff generates the funds, then it's appropriate for the funds then to benefit the staff. So the staff raises the funds for having a meal catered or something like that. As long as the staff is raising the funds, then the gift is appropriate as long as all the staff gets to participate. If it is an all-staff school fundraising event, a percentage of profits raised by the staff may be spent on the staff. So that's just kind of going back to that incentive part also. Money for incentive or recognition gifts may come from general funds as needed, as long as gifts are inexpensive and useful in the classroom. That's important. When we're talking about something that's coming out of the general fund, it needs to be something that's going to be useful in the classroom, not just, hey, here's you a new bracelet because you had a great scores on your state testing or something. Cash or cash equivalent items need to, if you're going to give those, they must be added to the employee's W-2 forms for tax purposes. It's generally not a good idea to give cash or cash equivalent items because those, if they are not reported correctly, can cause problems for the auditing of the school as well as the employee. When we look at special efforts for special students or any staff, these can be funds that are raised for benefits such as an illness or catastrophic events that occur. These should generally not be held or be organized through the school. They need to be organized either through the community or through a parent organization. Those funds should never funnel into and out of the school. They need to be kept completely separate. The reason being is if they come through the school and then are given to a staff member, that staff member has to claim that on their taxes as part of their wages. So we want to make sure that those are not being included through the school funds and should be held through other organizations. Thank you so much for watching my Module 11.